Yes, good morning to all of you. Is my voice is audible and is screen is visible to all of you? Yes, Ramesh said is there. Very good. Very good. Okay, fine. Class. So in this semester, we are going to learn a new language. That language name is Java. Java is a kind of programming language. It's a kind of programming language. Here, I have a question. Sir, what is the need of programming language? Can anybody answer? What is the need of a programming language? To interact with systems, to communicate with systems. Very good, correct answer. Yes. Generally, generally, if you want to communicate, if you want to communicate, if you want to communicate a normal human being to another normal human being, we will use a in one of the formal language like Telugu or English or Hindi or whatever the language they have common for both of them, we will use that kind of formal language. If he is something like a blind person, suppose assume that blind person, some problem is there, then how he is going to communicate? He is going to communicate with the help of Braille Lipi, right? You know, right? You know already. Through Braille Lipi, he will able to communicate with the another person, or he will able to understand some particular thing. Okay, fine. So to communicate human to human, we will use general language. That's we can call it as simply a formal language. Formal language. What about to communicate a human with system, or a system wants to communicate with the human? Then which language we are going to use? We are going to use a language called programming language. We can simply say that a programming language is a kind of formal language which is used to communicate with system, which is used to communicate with the system. Or simply we can say that it is used to control the behavior of a system. Am I right or not? Control the behavior of a system. Am I right or not? See, there is a person, there is a person, there is a person, something like Saraswati is there. Saraswati wants to communicate. There is some robot. Let us assume that it is a robot. Okay, it's like some robot. If Saraswati wants to communicate with this robot, what she requires? She requires to write some code using some programming language. Means she requires some programming language. Okay, so that she can able to control the behavior of the system. The behavior of the system. What is that behavior? She can move this robot to left to right, or right to left, or whatever maybe. It can be something. She can able to control the behavior of the system. So to control the behavior of a particular system, we will use the language. That language is programming language. Programming language. Generally, There are three types of programming languages are there. One is, can anybody answer what are those three types of programming languages? Yes, to solve systematic problems through programming. Okay, Amma Saraswati. Can anybody answer what are the three types of medium of communication between the system? Yes, very good. To have deep conversation with computer. Yes, communication with computers. Yes, very good. Low level, high level, and another one is middle level languages, right? So there are three types of languages are there. Low level language, middle level language, and another one is high level language. These three types of languages are there. So from time to time, they have converted, they come to from low level to middle level, then middle level to low level languages. Yes, fine. See here, which language I am calling it as low level language. Whatever thing that we are writing in the form of zeros and ones, binary code format లో మనము కోడ్ రాస్తే దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే we simply call it as low level language, or simply we can call it as machine language. We can call it as machine language. Okay, fine. I have written a code in the form of binary format. Binary format. Is there any is this language is directly understood by system or not? Yes, this language is directly understood by system. Then is there any necessary to convert this language to again machine code? Is there any necessary to convert this language to again machinery code? No need. That means no need of converters here. No need of converters. I mean, నా క్వశ్చన్ అర్థమైంది అనుకుంటామా? మనం రాసిందే సిస్టమ్ అండర్స్టాండబుల్ ఫార్మాట్ లో మళ్ళా దాన్ని వేరే ఫార్మాట్ లో కానీ కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలా? నో నీడ్ ఆఫ్ కన్వర్షన్, రైట్? మీన్స్ హియర్ there is no need of compilers or interpreters. Compilers or interpreters. If there is no need of compilers or interpreter, what about the execution speed? Execution speed is very fast. Execution speed is very fast. So this is all about low level language. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Next, coming to means in low level language, what is the problem? User understandability. I mean, developer understandability is very difficult. It is very complex. Instead of saying that understandability, it is very complex to write the programs in the form of binary format. To overcome that drawback, we are moving for middle level language, right? In middle level language, in which format you are going to write the code? In the form of mnemonics. Mnemonics, you can simply call it as a predefined set of keywords. Predefined set of keywords. Okay, this middle level language, I can call it as assembly level language also. Assembly level language. Okay, like for example, let me write add a comma b. What is the meaning of this one? I am giving the instructions to my computer in such a way that please perform addition of two numbers a and b, addition of two variables a and b, and store that result in a. Means please sum the two variable values a and b and store it in variable a. That if you write in the form of mnemonics, we can call it as middle level language. Okay, is there any converter required to convert this into machine code or not? Convert this into machine code? Yes, definitely we require. As it is, as these are mnemonics, we need to convert into binary format. So we require one converter. That converter I am calling it as, not I am. We will use the converter. That converter is assembler. Okay, na? Fine. As here the problem is mnemonics is also very difficult to remember. There are huge number of mnemonics are there. To remember all those mnemonics, it is very difficult. So that is the reason they are moving for high level programming language. High level programming language. So in high level programming language, we are going to write the program in the form of normal English sentences. Normal English sentences. Okay, fine. So to understand this normal English sentences by the computer means to convert this high level language into low level language. High level language into low level language. Compulsory we require a converter. That converter can be either a compiler or an interpreter. So if I am using a compiler or an interpreter as a mediator or an assembler as a mediator, the execution speed of the middle level language or high level language is higher than the low level language. Is higher than the low level language. So this is all about programming. అంటే నేను చెప్తున్నట్టమ్మా, ఒక సిస్టమ్ తో మనం కమ్యూనికేట్ కావాలంటే మనకు ఒక ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ కావాలి. ఆ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ని 3 వేస్ డిఫైన్ చేయొచ్చు. ఏదో డైరెక్ట్ గా మనము సిస్టమ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఫార్మాట్ లో రాయొచ్చు, లేదా మిడిల్ లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అంటే మనకు కొంతవరకు అర్థం కాదు, సిస్టమ్ కి అర్థం కాదు, కానీ విల్ టేక్ సమ్ మీడియేటర్, దట్ ఈస్ మిడిల్ లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ విత్ హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ న్యూమానిక్స్ యూ కెన్ రైట్. ఆర్ డైరెక్ట్లీ విల్ రైట్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ ఓన్ హ్యూమన్ అండర్స్టాండబుల్ ఫార్మాట్ లో రాస్తాము, దాన్ని డైరెక్ట్ గా సిస్టమ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఫార్మాట్ లో కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఐ మీన్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ ఇస్, ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చూసుకుందాం హ్యూమన్ టు హ్యూమన్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ తీసుకుందాం కావాలంటే. హ్యూమన్ టు హ్యూమన్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ లో తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చూడండి, దేర్ ఇస్ ఎ పర్సన్ J1C is there, and there is a person Ramesh Reddy is there, right? J1C know, let us assume that he know Telugu. Ramesh Reddy, let us know he know only Hindi. Then through which language they need to communicate? If they want to communicate, through which language he has to know? Either J1C has to communicate directly, completely with the help of Hindi, or Ramesh Reddy has to completely know with the help of Telugu. If both won't know both of other languages, then they have to use some common platform, some common language. That language, let us assume that English. Both know English, then they are able to communicate with the English, right? This reference I can call it as assembly level language. ఓకేనా? ఇప్పుడు జైవంశీని నేను సిస్టమ్ గా అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకుంటే, రమేష్ రెడ్డి ఇస్ ఎ పర్సన్. ఇప్పుడు రమేష్ రెడ్డి రాసే కోడ్ డైరెక్ట్ గా తెలుగులో రాసే, ఇప్పుడు రమేష్ రెడ్డిని ఏమని పిలవచ్చమ్మా? I can call this Ramesh Reddy written language in the form of machine code, or I can call it as low level language. If Ramesh Reddy has written the code in the form of Hindi, then that language I will call it as high level language. So I hope you have seen everything up to here. Yes, ma'am. Both high level language and middle level language need translator. Yes, very good. So up to here, you know already you are studying from C language and C++, everywhere you are studying, right? So can you give some examples for programming languages? Yes. Lot of programming languages are there. C, C++, Java, COBOL, Pascal, Fortran, everything, what not. మీకు తెలిసిన వర్డ్స్ అన్ని కూడా ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అమ్మ. ఓకేనా? ఫైన్. But coming to real world scenario, mainly programmers uses which kind of programming language? Programmers use high level programming language because everybody is familiar with their own English words so that they can able to write programming code easily, right? Yes. So in this real world, if any developer wants to develop a project, these people has to compulsory use what? Has to compulsory use a programming language. A programming language. That programming language can be either a low level, middle level, or high level language. Some type of programming language they have to use. And this type of programming languages can be can be either procedure oriented programming languages, procedure oriented programming languages, or can be either object oriented programming languages. ఏంటి సార్ డైరెక్ట్ ఇక్కడ తీసేసుకొచ్చారా అనుకోవద్దండి, ఓకేనా? డైరెక్ట్ గా మనం ఏదైనా ఒక కోడ్ ని హై లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ రాస్తున్నామంటే ఆ హై లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో రాసిన కోడ్ ఆర్ ఎనీ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్, నేను చెప్తున్నా అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక డెవలపర్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ని డెవలప్ చేస్తున్నారంటే దే హాస్ టు యూస్ కంపల్సరీ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్. వాళ్ళకి ఆ డెవలపర్స్ కి ఫెమిలియర్ గా ఉంటుంది ఏంటి? హై లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్. ఆ హై లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో రాసిన ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ అనేది again can be either compulsory either a procedure oriented programming language or an object oriented programming language, or it can be either an object oriented programming language. Okay na? Fine. So can you give some examples for procedure oriented programming language before going to move into in-depth discussion? Can you give some examples for procedure oriented programming languages? Only one. నేను సమ్మన్నానమ్మ. Ramesh Reddy, Pascal. Okay. Ganesh, everyone. Very good. ఓన్లీ సి రాసేసారు. ఇంకా చాలా ఉంటాయి మా ప్రొసీజరల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో, సి ఒకటే కాదు, మీరు చదివిందే కాదు. ఓకే, దేర్ ఆర్ సో మెనీ ప్రొసీజర్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజెస్ ఆర్ దేర్ లైక్ సి, పాస్కల్, కోబాల్, పర్ల్, Oracle, etc. All these will comes under procedure oriented programming languages. What about the examples for object oriented programming language? So in the last semester we have studied one of the programming language, that is C++. Okay, in addition to the C++, can you give some examples of object oriented programming language? C++, Java, Python. Yes, C++, Java, Python, Lisp, etc. So these are some of the examples of object oriented programming languages. Somebody is making noise. Yes, okay, fine. So these are the examples of procedure oriented programming language and the object oriented programming languages. Okay. Now I will ask one question. In the last semester you have studied, in the first year of first semester you have studied C language, right? In the first year second semester you have studied object oriented programming language C++. What is the reason to move from procedure oriented programming language to object-oriented programming language. Can anybody answer? What is the reason? Yes, Snehalata. Very good, ma. Very good. Very good. Security is the main concern. That the reason move for no because of having OOPS concept. Okay, why OOPS concepts required? That is the main reason, right? We require. So the reason is to yield the security. Yes, for better security and for some advanced features. Very good. So the reason to move from procedure-oriented programming language to object-oriented programming language is to yield security. One of the main important point. Amma. In your interviews, if they will ask, just tell your answer in one word, that is to yield security. Okay, fine. How we are going to yield security? It means that there is no security in procedure-oriented programming language. Yes, in procedure-oriented programming language, there is no security. Coming to object-oriented programming language, there is a security. Okay, sir, why security is there in object-oriented programming language? Why no security? Why there is no security in procedure-oriented programming language? Can anybody answer why security is providing in object-oriented programming language? Yes. Yes, let me answer. Because in object-oriented programming language, we will have a concept of access specifiers. Access specifiers. So because of the availability of the concept of access specifiers, we will yield security in object-oriented programming language. Whereas coming to procedure-oriented programming language, there is no concept of access specifiers. Access specifiers means these will specify, access specifiers will specify accessibility of various data elements. Accessibility of various data elements, like you already know in C++, right? Public, private, protected, right? These are all the various kind of access specifiers. Coming to procedure-oriented programming language, there is no concept of access specifiers. Means if there are no access specifiers, what it means simply everything will be public. Simply everything will be public. For example, Amma, for example, I have written, I have developed some module. That module I am calling it as stdio.h. Let us assume, Ante. Let us assume. If I am going to write some program in C language where this module contains two functions, one is C1, another one is C2. Another one is C2. There is a person, Bhargavi is there. Bhargavi is there. Bhargavi wants to act. Bhargavi already know C1 and C2 are available in stdio.h file. C1 and C2 are already available in stdio.h file. Then can she able to access this C1 directly? Can she able to access C2 directly or not? Try to understand my question. Bhargavi wants to access C1 and C2 directly. C1 and C2 access. And she already know stdio.h file contains already C1 and C2. Then can she able to access C1 and C2 directly or not? Answer is yes. Because once they know location, they will directly import those files. Because this C1 is a file whose accessibility is public. because we didn't mention any kind of access specifier, whether it is public or private. But coming to any kind of object-oriented programming, suppose for example, again I'm saying that stdio.h file is there. Here, I am going to implement in some object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming, C1 and C2. C1 and C2 are two files they have written. And whatever the right programmer have written, he would like to not to disclose this C1 function. Then what he can write? He can write here as private. And he provide free access to C2. Then he can write it as public. So this is the access specifiers. What is the meaning of this one? C1 could not access by any other program. Then again, Bhargavi trying to access the file C1 and C2. And here the situation is C1 and C2 locations are already known to Bhargavi, where stdio.h. But when she is trying to access C1 and C2, she could not able to access the C1 because its access specifier is C1. Whereas it's C2 I can able to access because its access specifier is C2. Access specifier is C2. So that is where we will improve the security. Am I right or not? That's it. I mean, in C language, everything is public. Everything is public. That's it. Okay, fine. So coming to object-oriented programming language, generally we will write in procedure-oriented programming language. We are going to implement any program in the form of procedures, or simply we can call it as methods, or simply we can call it as functions. That's not exact definition. Okay, which you already know, right? Coming to object-oriented programming languages, we are going to implement everything in the form of objects. Everything in the form of objects. Okay, what do you mean by object and what is the meaning of object? Everything will let you know in the coming classes with clear understandability. Okay, for the time being, just understand that object is an element which is having some characteristics. For example, let us say person. Person is an object or not? Is an object. Now, for example, Esma. Right now, what I'm thinking, Bhargavi, is you don't know the meaning of class also. That is the reason I didn't define the definition of object. Okay. For example, there is a person, Tarun Kumar. Now, I am saying that Tarun Kumar is an object. Now, I want to access Tarun Kumar account number. Can I able to access directly the object, the Tarun Kumar account number? No. I want to know the village of Tarun Kumar. Can I able to know directly? No. That is the meaning of, that is the use of object. When you use an object, you cannot able to access the details of a particular object directly. But if you want to access the details of Tarun Kumar as like account number or village, you can able to access. But through proper procedure. through proper procedure, through proper communication. So that is the reason in object-oriented programming language, we can able to improve security. We can able to yield the security. We can able to yield security. Okay. So one of the main reason to increase the security is because of access specifiers. Because of access specifiers. Sir, which programming languages are called as object-oriented programming languages? Which languages will provide security? Those languages we call it as object-oriented programming languages. Okay, how we are going to implement that security? With the help of access specifiers and with the help of the concepts of classes, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, data binding, message passing. Message passing. Okay, so which language are object-oriented programming language? If a programming language supports, if a programming language supports these 8 concepts or these 8 principles, we can simply call it as principles of programming language. If a programming language supports these 8 principles, then I can call that programming language as object-oriented programming language. That's it. Okay, now means up to now we have discussed the difference between procedure-oriented programming language and object-oriented programming languages. Okay, మీకు ఇక్కడ క్వశ్చన్ రావచ్చు సార్ whatever the softwares that we are seeing as of now are all implemented using C language. Are all implemented using C language. Okay, fine. So C language lo kuda softwares anenti implement chestunnam anochu. Avuna? Yes. So when we implement a software using C language, can anybody answer? When you implement a software using C language, very good, Ganesh. When we don't want security. B section. When we don't want security, yes, very good. Correct answer, Ganesh. When we don't want we can use C language also. Means the softwares which doesn't require security. A software with security అవసరం లేదు వాటిలన్నిటికీ ఏమి చేయొచ్చమ్మా? We can simply use C language. For example, calculator. Is there any necessary to provide security to the calculator application? No need. No need of any security for the calculator application. Okay, sir, can we implement any kind of software? Can we implement any kind of software using C language? Using C language? Yes. Answer is yes. But you have to like మీరు సెక్యూరిటీ అనే కన్సర్న్ ని వదిలేసుకుంటే యూ కెన్ యూస్ సి లాంగ్వేజ్ టు ఇంప్రూవ్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ the like the major institutes are recommended not to use C language for internet softwares. Internet softwares అంటే ఏంటమ్మా? We can simply call it as distributed softwares where data is sharing. ఏదైతే సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ లో డేటా షేర్ అవుతుందో ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ అన్నిటికీ సి లాంగ్వేజ్ అనేది రికమెండెడ్ కాదమ్మా. సి లాంగ్వేజ్ అనేది రికమెండెడ్ కాదు. దెన్ వేర్ వి విల్ యూస్ జావా, రైట్? యు నో వేర్ డేటా is sharing means over an internet data is sharing. With there we can use Java, but majorly we will use Java at standalone applications. Don't get confused అవ్వండి. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, మనము సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ ని 2 types లో డిస్కస్ చేసాం. One is system software, another one is application software. Application softwares again divided into standalone applications or desktop applications. Another one is distributed applications. Here where results are shareable, where results are not shareable. So results share కాని దగ్గర కూడా can we use Java or not? ఇప్పుడు బేసిక్ థింగ్ అమ్మా, జావా అనే సెక్యూరిటీ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది. సెక్యూరిటీ లేని చోట కూడా కెన్ ఐ యూజ్ ఇట్ ఆర్ నాట్? ఎస్, ఆఫ్ కోర్స్, బట్ వైస్ వర్సా is not possible. So the main thing is Java we will use at standalone applications. Can I use at distributed applications? Yes, of course. Already మీకు ఇంతకుముందు చూపించాను. Yes, of course, I can use at system, but it is always recommended to use C language only for system software. Why? Because of security concern. Okay, ma'am. That's it. Okay, fine. So this is all about the introduction of Java. I mean, it's not about introduction. What is programming language and where we are going to use this programming language? What are the various kind of programming languages? And what is the difference between procedure oriented and object oriented programming language differences we have seen right now. Okay, coming to the subject name. Object whoops through Java. So you know already, right? What is Java? Java is an already ఇందాక చెప్పారు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్. What is the meaning of OOPS? Always call object oriented programming system. First, to understand the subject name, we have to know the meaning of OOPS, right? Object oriented programming system. What do you mean by object oriented programming system? Simply call it as object oriented programming language principles. If a language, or we can simply call it as if a system is following object oriented programming principles systematically, then we can call it as object oriented programming system. ఒక పర్టికులర్ ప్రొసీజర్, ఒక పర్టికులర్ సిస్టమాటిక్ వేలో ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ని యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ సిస్టమ్ అంట. మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలుసు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, మనం ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పాం 8 చెప్పాం. అబ్స్ట్రాక్షన్, లైక్ yes, classes, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, data binding, message passing, all this will comes under object oriented programming language principles. Okay na? So now Java is a kind of programming language. If the Java is able to use these principles, these principles that that is the reason Java is called as object oriented programming language. Okay, now with this statement, can anybody answer what is Java? What is Java? Java ni ఎవరు డైరెక్ట్ గా ఏ లాంగ్వేజ్ రాయొచ్చమ్మా? Can I write like in the form of high level language or not? Java we can write in high level language. So with these three statements, can anybody answer write the definition of Java? Somebody. But we can share the output of Java through executables without sharing the code. చెప్పండి మా జావా డెఫినేషన్ చెప్పండి. Vamsi, you are asking something, sir, but we can share the output of Java through exe, no, sir? Yes, as a developer you can share, but what about the customer? You have to always think in the point of customer, right? Customer cannot able to don't know exactly what is executable file, what is class file, what is C file. He doesn't know. He just press some buttons. He has to share that result. That's it. You have to always think in the point of customer point. Yes. Java is simply a high level object oriented programming language. Right? You now you understand the definition of Java, right? So as the time being changing, I will modify this definition, Amma. This is not hard and fast rule. This definition is varying from time to time. Okay. For the time being, Java is a high-level object-oriented programming language. Why I'm calling it as a high-level programming language? Because whatever the code that we are writing is directly understood by the, sorry, is written in the form of normal English format. Okay. Object-oriented programming means it's a kind of this Java is following the principles, OOPS principles, object-oriented programming system principles, or object-oriented programming language principle. What do you mean by programming language? Why I'm calling Java as a programming language? Through this language, I can able to control the behavior of one particular system. That is the reason I'm calling it as programming. So the entire thing, if you combine, Java is a high-level object-oriented programming language. So I hope you are clear. You know the meaning of OOPS through Java. అంటే ఈ జావా ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ మనం దేంట్లో చదువుతున్నామంటే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ యూజ్ చేసుకొని చదువుతున్నాం కాబట్టి దాన్ని oops through Java అని అంటున్నాం. ఓకే, దట్స్ ఇట్. Yes, fine. So this is our subject name. So in this subject, what we are going to do, what we are going to learn, let us see now. One minute. What about section D? Only 69 members. See here, Purna is there. Purna. There. Okay. CR itself is not there in the class. Means what about the remaining people? It is not possible, right? Yes. So is the syllabus copy is visible to both of you? I mean both sections, not both sections syllabus copy కనబడుతుందమ్మా? Yes. Right? Okay. So let's see. So our subject name is object oriented programming through Java. You know the meaning of this subject, right? You have the credit, 3 credit course. So coming to first unit, in first unit you are going to see the basic thing, amma. Basic thing means what is the difference between object oriented programming and procedure oriented programming, but they have given only for object oriented programming. Let's see the difference between object oriented programming and procedure oriented programming clearly. And then introduction to Java means Java ఎలా వచ్చింది దాని యొక్క హిస్టరీ ఏంటి ఇవన్నీ కూడా చూస్తాం. అలాగే జావా యొక్క మెయిన్ ఫీచర్స్ ఏంటి, what are the main features of Java. Then we'll see fundamentals of objects and classes, and then we will see the basic things. What are those basic things? Data types అంటే ఏంటి, యాక్సెస్ స్పెసిఫైర్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఇన్స్టలేషన్ ఎలా చేస్తాము, స్కోప్ అండ్ లైఫ్ టైమ్, ఆపరేటర్స్,
సార్ జూమ్
కండిషన్స్.
చేయండి సార్.
జూమ్ చేయాలమ్మా. Is it okay?
ఓకే సార్.
Okay. So and then we'll see the basic thing: arrays, string conversion, type casting. You know the meaning of casting, right? Conversion from one format to another format. All these things we'll see in the first unit. I mean, in the first unit we are going to see just the main thing: difference between object oriented programming and procedure oriented programming, and history of Java, and then the main features of Java, and then we'll see the basic things. Basic things we already know. Okay. And fundamentals of objects and class అంటే కూడా చూస్తాం. Objects and classes are the principles of object oriented programming, right? And coming to second unit, we are going to see in-depth study of classes and objects. Classes and objects. Okay. Class and objects methods and constructors, static, ఇవన్నీ మీకు తెలిసినవి అన్నమాట. We'll discuss anyway everything. Parameter passing mechanism, overloading అంటే ఏంటి, overriding అంటే ఏంటి, nested classes, inner classes. Then we'll see strings. What are strings? String buffer class, command line arguments, data ఎలా రీడ్ చేస్తాము కీబోర్డ్ ద్వారా, అవన్నీ కూడా చూస్తాం. Okay. So coming to third unit, we are going to see the remaining object oriented principles like abstraction, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, interfaces, etc. Encapsulation. All these we are going to see in third unit. I mean, in second unit we are going to see only 2 principles, classes and objects. In third unit we are going to see all the remaining principles, remaining 6 principles. Okay na? So coming to fourth unit, we are going to see file handling. File handling means handling the files. Yes, that's it. Handling of files meaning is to perform read operation or write operation over the files. In Java we will use the concept file handling. You already have written the code in C language also to read the data from the file or to write the data from the file. So the same concept we are going to see using Java. Concept is same. Counting the number of digits are there, counting the number of spaces, counting the number of special characters. All those same programs will become here. But the difference is syntax is changing. Then in the second part, we are going to see exceptional handling. Exception handling. What do you mean by exception handling? Can anybody answer? Error. Exception is a kind of error which occurs during at the runtime. Yes. So exception handling the various kind of exceptions. Okay. Those are the errors which are raised in our program while executing. Those kind of errors we will handle. That concept we will get through the concept of exception handling. So concepts of exception handling, types of try, catch, throw. Finally, all this we'll see in that unit. Next, coming to unit 5, we are going to see packages, how we are going to create package. Package and tema is simply nothing but a location where you are going to identify your elements. Elements is simply nothing but any kind of method or any kind of variable or whatever it may be. Okay, na? So those packages and NT. And in the second part, I mean, you are going to see how we are going to create package, how we are going to control those packages accessible from one user to another user. All those we'll see in the package concept. Then we'll see multi-threading. Multi-threading అంటే ఎవరిని చెప్తారా? We'll see the multi-threading, concept of multi-threading, difference between all these we'll see there. Multi-threading అంటే చెప్తారు? To perform concurrent execution of multiple processes. Multiple programs concurrently execute అంటే at a time multiple programs execute అవ్వాలంటే we will use the concept of multi-threading. So our topic అది ఎలా చేయాలనేది we'll see in the 5th unit. Next, coming to event handling. Event handling. Handling the events is called event handling. Yes. First, we'll see what do you mean by event. Event is simply nothing but an action. Changing state from one state to another state is called as event. So when we are changing state from one state to another state, we need to handle that action. What we need to. For example, when I am when I click when I perform right click operation on a mouse is simply nothing but an event. మౌస్ లో ఒక రైట్ క్లిక్ ఇచ్చాము అంటే దాన్ని ఈవెంట్ అంటాము. ఆ ఈవెంట్ పర్ఫామ్ అయినప్పుడు నేను ఎలా హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలి? I have to pop one box like that. For example, when I press one key on the keyboard, that's simply called as an event. అది వచ్చి అలా కీ ప్రెస్ చేసినప్పుడు హ్యాండిల్ చేసిన ఏమంటామంటే ఈవెంట్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అంటే. అలా కీ ప్రెస్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏం యాక్షన్ అవ్వాలి? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అమ్మ, okay fine, let me explain, no problem. Once I will share the screen. నథింగ్ బట్ ఈవెంట్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అంటే ఒక పర్టికులర్ యాక్షన్ జరిగినప్పుడు ఏమి ఈవెంట్ అక్కర్ అవ్వాలి అని దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే ఈవెంట్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అంట. దేర్ విల్ సీ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, AWT కాంపోనెంట్స్, విండోస్, లేఅవుట్ మేనేజర్స్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్, జే ప్యానల్, స్వింగ్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్, జే ఫ్రేమ్, జే ప్యానల్, జే కాంపోనెంట్, ఐకాన్, జే బటన్, ఆల్ దీస్ విల్ సీ ఇన్ ద 6th unit. ఓకే మీకు ఎలా చెప్తే మేబీ నాట్ అండర్స్టూడ్. లెట్ మీ షేర్ వన్స్ అగైన్ దిస్ స్క్రీన్. One minute. సో స్క్రీన్ షేర్ అవుతుంది కదా అందరికి. చూడండి, వాట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డూ ఇన్ దిస్ సెమిస్టర్ ఈస్ one minute. So in the semester, in this subject, we are going to see in the first unit, we are going to know what is the difference between object oriented programming language and procedure oriented programming language. And then we will see some history of Java, means simply an introduction. Then we will see features of Java. And then we'll see basic things. Basic things means what are control structures, what are condition statements, what is variable, variable installation, everything will comes under basic. Along with that, we have to know access specifiers. ఇవి కూడా మీకు ఆల్రెడీ C++ తెలుసు, బట్ విల్ డిస్కస్ ఎనీ access specifiers discuss. This is all about unit 1. In unit 2, we are going to see like మీరు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియెంటెడ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ చెప్పాం కదా, ఆ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ లో 2 ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ని మనము సెకండ్ చదువుతాం, క్లాసెస్ అండ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్. వీటిని ఎలా డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి, ఎలా ఇన్స్టలేట్ చేయాలి, మెమరీ ఎలా క్రియేట్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా వీల్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఎ క్లాస్, ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ అంటే ఏంటి, ప్రాపర్ క్లాస్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనము యూనిట్ 2 లో చదువుతాం. కమింగ్ టు యూనిట్ 3, in unit 3 we are going to study remaining 6 principles. What is abstraction, what is encapsulation, what is inheritance, what is interface, what is polymorphism, what is data binding, what is message passing. All these will comes under unit 3. అవన్నీ కూడా ఇన్ డెప్త్ గా యూనిట్ 3 లో చదువుతాం. నెక్స్ట్ యూనిట్ 4 కి వచ్చేసరికి, ఇప్పుడు ఈ 3 వచ్చేసరికి అన్ని బేసిక్ లెవెల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అన్ని కంప్లీట్ అవుతాయి, ఇండివిజువల్ పార్ట్ అంతా కంప్లీట్ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ వీ నీడ్ టు హ్యాండిల్ ద నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ డేటా స్టోరేజ్, రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్ అంటే ఇక్కడ దాకా ఏం చేస్తాము, వేరియబుల్స్ మీద కానీ అరేస్ మీద కానీ డేటా స్టోర్ చేస్తుంటాం ఈ 3 యూనిట్లో. నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ స్టోరేజ్ హైరార్కీ ఏంటి, ఫైల్సే కదమ్మా. మీకు అర్థమవుతుందా, డేటా అనేది వేరియబుల్ స్టోర్ చేస్తాం, దిస్ ఇస్ బేసిక్ హైరార్కీ. నెక్స్ట్ విల్ స్టోర్ కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ హైరార్కీ, నెక్స్ట్ విల్ స్టోర్ ఫైల్స్, రైట్. Then we'll go for databases. It will take a lot of time actually. Then we'll look for databases. Now first 3 units will complete arrays and variables, and next we'll go for files. In files we are going to perform file handling, means how we are going to perform read operation or write operation over files. We'll see in the first half unit, and in the second half unit we are going to see exception handling. Means whenever an exception occurs, whenever an error occurs, how we are going to handle, like by using try, catch, throw blocks. అవన్నీ ఎలా యూజ్ చేయాలి ఏంటి అనేది కూడా చూస్తాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బేసిక్ ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఈజ్ లైక్ డివిజన్ బై జీరో, రైట్. ఇట్స్ ఎ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్సెప్షన్ వీ నీడ్ టు హ్యాండిల్, రైట్. సింపుల్ చెప్పాలంటే నేను ఏ డాట్ డాక్ అనే ఫైల్ ఉందమ్మా, నేను కానీ బి డాట్ డాక్ అనే ఫైల్ ని రీడ్ చేస్తున్నాను. అసలు ఇది లేదంటే ఈ ఫైలే లేదు, కానీ దీన్ని రీడ్ చేయడం ట్రై చేస్తుంది. అది కూడా ఒక సింపుల్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అన్ ఎక్సెప్షన్ ఆర్ ఎస్. సో అట్లా అటువంటి వాటి కేసు అన్నిటిని ఎలా హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలనేది ఎక్సెప్షన్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ చూస్తాం. కమింగ్ టు యూనిట్ 5. In unit 5 we are going to see the basic concepts of packages and multi-threading. Okay, package ante it's a kind of a storage location where we will store written code and we will simply reuse. మీకు ఎక్కడ కావాలో అక్కడ వాటిలన్నిటిని రీయూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, అందుకు మనకు ప్యాకేజ్ బాగా ఉపయోగపడతాయి. ఇవి ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, దాని అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటి, అలాగే నేను ఒక కోడ్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన ఆ కోడ్ వేరే వాళ్ళకి షేర్ చేయాలంటే ఏం యాక్సెస్ ఇవ్వాలి, అవన్నీ కూడా మనం ప్యాకేజ్ చూస్తాం. మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఒక పర్టికులర్ మల్టిపుల్ టాస్క్, గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ టాస్క్, we can simply call it as concurrent execution of group of task ని కాంకరెంట్ అంటే అట్ ఏ టైం కాంకరెంట్ గా అన్నిటిని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంటే విల్ యూజ్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్. సో మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్ తెలియాలంటే ఫస్ట్ థ్రెడ్ తెలియాలి. థ్రెడ్ ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే ఫస్ట్ విల్ హ్యావ్ టు నో ది ప్రాసెస్ మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలుసు. ప్రాసెస్ ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే ఫస్ట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు నో ప్రోగ్రామ్, లైక్ దిస్ ఆల్రెడీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు నో, రైట్. దట్ ఈస్ వేర్ విల్, అందుకోసం మనం మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్ చదువుతాం, ఓకేనా. ఈ మల్టీ థ్రెడింగ్ వల్ల మెయిన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటంటే మెమరీ అనేది సేవ్ అవుతుంది, మెయిన్ గా మెమరీ సేవ్ అవుతుంది. ఈ మెమరీ ఎలా సేవ్ అవుతుంది అనేది మళ్ళీ అక్కడ డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. నెక్స్ట్ కమింగ్ టు యూనిట్ 6, we are going to mainly concentrate on event handling and we'll concentrate on strings. Event handling అంటే ఏంటి, ఈవెంట్ ఈజ్ సింపుల్ నథింగ్ బట్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్ an action. ఆ యాక్షన్ అవ్వచ్చమ్మా ప్రెస్సింగ్ ఏ బటన్, right click over a mouse or left click over a mouse, pressing a key, pressing a up arrow, pressing a down arrow, whatever the thing, what not, everything. లైక్ ఇక్కడ చూడండి, నాకు స్క్రీన్ అవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ బటన్ ప్రెస్ చేస్తాను, ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఫైల్ అనే దాని మీద ఇట్లా క్లిక్ చేస్తాను. క్లిక్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమైంది, నాకు కోడ్ వచ్చింది. ఇక్కడ నేను ఈ బటన్, ఈ ఫైల్ అనే దాన్ని క్లిక్ చేయడానికి ఏమంటానంటే ఒక కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఈవెంట్. వెన్ దట్ ఈవెంట్ అంటే నేను వెన్ ఐ క్లిక్డ్ ఆన్ ఎ ఫైల్ బటన్, what event I need to perform? I need to pop one window. When I clicked new flipbook, clicked is nothing but one kind of event. What I need to like what I need to show here is this options, right? So this is simply nothing but an event. Okay, now that's it. So like that's simply nothing but an event. So event is simply nothing but an action performed over particular thing. When I perform that action, what I need to show next is nothing but handling that action. Okay, coming to swings, you are going to learn J frame, J button, all these things. I mean, this is simply nothing but one frame. మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా, దీన్ని ఒక ఫ్రేమ్ అని కూడా అనొచ్చు. మనం ఇంకా ఎలా చూస్తామంటే ఇలా ఉంది కదా, దిస్ ఈజ్ సింపుల్ నథింగ్ బట్ వన్ ఫ్రేమ్. ఈ ఫ్రేమ్ లో ఫైల్ అనే ఒక బటన్ ఉంది, ఎడిట్ అనే ఒక బటన్ ఉంది, ఇమేజ్ అనే ఒక బటన్ ఉంది, విండో అనే ఒక బటన్ ఉంది. వీటిలన్నిటిని క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఇలా క్రియేట్ చేయడం లాస్ట్ యూనిట్ చదువుతాం. ఓకేనా? ఐ మీన్ మీరు ఇప్పుడు సిస్టమ్ ఏదైనా ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే ఇలానే ఉంటుందా, ఉండదా? సో అప్పుడు నేను దీన్ని ఏమనొచ్చు, ఏ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అనొచ్చు? సిస్టమ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అనొచ్చు. సారీ, ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ సిస్టమ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్. సిస్టమ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అంటే ఏంటమ్మా? యూజర్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతారు డైరెక్ట్ గా? నో. సో నేను ఇక్కడ యూజర్ డైరెక్ట్ ఫైల్ మీద క్లిక్ చేస్తే ఒక ఆపరేషన్ వస్తాయి. సో దీన్ని ఏమనొచ్చు, నేను స్టాండ్ అలోన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ అంటే. Okay, now fine. So this is all about we are going to study in this semester. So I hope you got complete idea about what we are going to study and what is the main difference between object oriented programming language and procedure oriented programming language. Okay, Namma? Okay, fine. So what is the outcome of this semester, outcome of this subject? Marks, what is the outcome of this subject? What is the outcome? Can anybody answer? No. So the outcome of this subject is, first నేను చెప్తున్నా వస్తున్నా, to develop one standalone software. That's it. Theoretical గా వెళ్ళకూడదు ఇప్పుడు కూడా. We need to do some practical. So that is the reason our outcome is to develop any kind of standalone software. ఈ standalone software ఎక్కడ తెలుస్తాం, ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? ఇక్కడ 6 యూనిట్లు ఉన్నాయి కదా, స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఇట్లానే నేర్చుకుంటే ఈజీగా వచ్చేస్తుంది. That's it. So this is all about today's class. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask.